You okay? Sure?
Life During Wartime is a sequel to Happiness. The same characters, but different actors. And Todd revisiting the story 10 years later.
Deja vu.
But he wanted to recreate the first scene, which I found really compelling. So we actually tried to be true to how the first scene was, the back of the banquette where they're sitting at the restaurant and the flowers. So I just tried to be true in recreating the style and the look. Now, what I kind of imposed or brought to it is I wanted to create the color palette that one would be part of in the rest of the film in this, Miami environment. So there's a certain warmthness to this scene that I used, a gel that's warmer. And but I still kept good contrast in their faces. And it's very important to me that I was able to keep shadow detail in the Alan character. Being Afro-American, I hate when you have to overlight someone because you're afraid that you won't get enough information. So I went the other way and tried to barely read the shadow detail and still hold the highlights, especially when he works against someone that's Caucasian in the same scene, that how you control the lighting, because you can't put people in just different lighting all the time.
Alan, I really do like it.
Here's a scene with Trish and Harvey in the garage. I lit it with what was there, the sodium vapor lights. And, they have a green cast. So I pushed the green in here. I wasn't afraid of the green because I wanted romance in this unromantic setting, and which also plays off of these two characters that are matched but mismatched. So I like that acid-looking color there because I thought it gives an awkwardness to their feeling and their relationship. And when she walks across the golf course, I shot this at late dusk and then printed it down for night, and then the sky was implemented later digitally with the stars. And then she crosses this parking lot. We call that our Ed Ruscha shot, cutting across these diagonals, like in a formalistic way, was creating kind of another abstraction. Also that you're shooting above her, and so, she became more of an object in the image. And also I tried to capture the same kind of blue night light that was like otherworldly. It creates a certain unreality that's an abstraction. And here's a situation where I went into a location. I took everything out of the scene that wasn't red and white and black, basically. The banquettes were a dark blue. And then I still have the color palette of this kind of warmth that's kind of a brownish yellow warmth that's eerie. It's not totally naturalistic. So again, it would create another world.
Great. Come right this way.
Joy's walking in the restaurant like she's in a sleepwalking. So we wanted all the moves and her action to be slow also. So the camera moves very slow, she moves very slow, so it creates another otherworld time frame for her until she breaks out of her reverie when she sees the Paul Rubin character, who's a former lover who's committed suicide and comes back to revisit her. So we have a scene with Harvey and Trish and Timmy on the balcony. You know, we have the moon there, which we put in later. You know, here's a good example of mixed lighting, but keeping consistent to the same palette of the rest of the film. There's a warmth, kind of an orange feeling, and then I cut it with a green, with a contrasting color that, you know, is off of the turquoise of the wall. And then also, if there were fluorescents, which a lot of these homes have outside at night, that you would get this color green shift. So I mix, you know, those are contrasting colors, green cyan against yellow red would be orange. And so I play with that.
Interesting.
You know, and the yellow is more what I call like the bug light look, like a lot of tropical areas, they light with we call Malibu lights, so I was kind of mimicking that feeling. Also, I felt this dialogue of Timmy kind of fit this abstraction with him talking about, you know, is it better to forgive or forget? And I just wanted to create this kind of nightmarish world for them and the innocence of Timmy.
Explanation.
So that you believe I'm really sorry?
Well, look, like I told you, I'm sure I would forgive you, but, well, I'm not sure that I would forget.
Anytime something would go wrong at work, he'd go out, get plastered, come home, punch out my mom, like it was all her fault.
So here's a scene when we're at the college dorm where the kids are, you know, smoking a joint and having beer in the foyer of the dorm. A lot of this film we tried to play in one shot. So here's a pretty complicated shot where the camera's panning and dolling, a small adjustment, and plays in one shot when you're hearing the sound over the picture, and then you resolve the dialogue into Billy. And again, that's a nice way where, you know, trusting the camera's style to tell the story. And it has a yellow greenish tint. Again, I kept the yellow feeling of the tropical feeling and the heat, but I wanted to mimic, you know, what it's like to be in those kind of dormitories and, you know, the institutional feel. And this look is carried up when Billy meets up with his father upstairs after this scene. So, you know, but I kept this yellow-green look. And even it's partly when they comes out of the lobby of the dorm. This is a scene where Joy has come downstairs from the bar mitzvah, and she has to face her demons, and she sees her former husband, who's also committed suicide. And what I liked about this is the idea that he comes out of a natural situation where it isn't extraordinary, that he comes out of the loo, but you see him through the mirror, you know, out of focus in the mirror. And then as it pans across her, he becomes the actual object. So I like that she sees him as an abstraction first that then resolves into his actual character.
Two things.
You know, he doesn't really become part of her reality until she goes to him. So it's another way where you're always thinking about how the camera can tell the story of what's happening emotionally to the character.
What else?
Do what I did. Put a bullet through your temple.